Hello, this is Dinah Lane from Harwich Channel 18, and I'm very happy to be here today with Emily Milan from the Brooks Library. She always does a report, and it's great to have her here to tell us about what's going on during the pandemic. Of course, it's been a long time that the pandemic has been going on, but the library has been powering through, and it's really great to have you here, Emily. Welcome.
Thanks, Dinah. I appreciate it. It's nice to be back, even in this new format that we're all kind of adjusting to and getting used to.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to be back and give you guys a little update on what's going on at the library.
Well, that's great. So I know there have, of course, been some changes, and some people know about those, but perhaps you could just run through what's been going on and maybe some new changes that might be just occurring.
Absolutely. So the library powered through, like you said, through the summer with curbside pickup, and that went really well. For those of you who were able to visit us, you know that we had tables set up outside, and patrons could call and place holds over the phone or log into the catalog to request items. And as they became available, we would notify patrons, check out the items, bag them up, and patrons could swing by the library and pick them up outside via curbside, our curbside service. And that went really well through the summer. We really lucked out that the weather was so nice and we were able to keep those materials outside underneath that nice overhang on the parking lot side of the building. So while the drought wasn't a positive thing for everyone, it worked out in this one case. So we have to identify those silver linings where we can.
For books, it's a good thing, perhaps.
Absolutely. Books and rain don't mix
Well, they
well.
don't like wet. Okay.
No. So that was a great service to be able to offer this summer. And we're going to continue offering that through the winter. We'll see how we make out as temperatures get colder and see if we have to make any changes to where that curbside service lives when those materials are outside. But we will keep that going. Curbside will be available Monday, Wednesday, and Friday throughout the winter. And then on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we're offering inside service. So patrons can come in and pick up their holds inside and also browse the collection that's located on the first floor. So that's access to fiction, DVDs, all of the children's materials, and a lot of those materials that lived on the second floor have been moved downstairs. So our audiobook collection, and our nonfiction DVDs, all those documentaries and informative DVD series that we have, along with a good chunk of nonfiction print materials. All of our new nonfiction print materials are downstairs on the first floor. So patrons can come in and browse those, pick things out on their own, or pick up holds, whatever however they like to request materials.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
that will
people,
be,
yeah, so people will have more access than they've had.
yes.
But it will not involve seating, I'm assuming. It is not possible for people yet to come in and hang out.
Right. That's
Yeah,
correct.
for safety
If you
reasons, of course.
Absolutely. If you look at the governor's phased reopening of libraries and museums specifically, he requested that we adopt a kind of a grab and go model. I don't think that's the exact language that's used in the phased reopening plan, but that's what we've been calling it.
Yes.
So basically what he was encouraging libraries to do was to adapt a model where patrons could come in and quickly grab materials, but then check them out and move on. So we're asking patrons to limit their visit to 30 minutes or less. We're finding that most patrons are limiting their visit to 15 minutes or less because we've been offering this inside service since the end of September, the last week of September. And in the 5 or 6 weeks it's been going, most patrons are able to accomplish what they need to accomplish in 15 minutes or less. We did remove the seating and the tables. First of all, that just gives us more room in the building to move around so patrons don't feel so crowded. If you were in the library prior to the pandemic, we had some tables that were often used that were right in the middle of the DVD section on the first floor of the library, and they kind of impede foot traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried to alleviate some of that by removing some of the tables and seating.
I see. Okay. Good. And do you have a limit of people that you allow in at one time?
We do. There's a couple of different ways to calculate the occupancy of a building, again, based on the reopening plan put forth by the governor. So we actually went with a slightly more conservative number. Using the square footage calculation, we could have, I think it was close to 60 people in the building. And then if you I'm sorry, I apologize, I have that backwards. Using the square footage, we could have approximately 40 to 45 people in the building, including staff. And then using the building occupancy, which is a part of any building permit that's issued by the town, that could be closer to 60 or 70. We felt like just to give people space to maintain that social distance, that going with the smaller number of the two was the best. So we are limiting to 30 patrons in the building at a time. And again, in the 5 weeks that we've been open, we haven't reached that limit. So we have never had a line develop outside as people were waiting to come in.
Okay. Well, that's good information for people to know what to expect. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So you also we're going to talk about Books on Wheels program, which is really a great option for people who can't get in or don't want to come in, right?
Absolutely. This is a program that is staffed and managed by a team of volunteers from the Friends of the Brooks Free Library. The Friends is a support organization that really helps the library in multiple different ways, but Books on Wheels is kind of their flagship program. It's been going on for, I think, almost 20 years now. They've kept this going, and it really has been a huge help during the pandemic. The program is intended to assist any patron who's unable to come to the library to either pick up in person inside or via curbside. So this could apply to a number of situations. A new mom who's at home with an infant and just isn't able to get out and run those types of errands, and maybe has toddlers at home and would like to have some new materials, picture books, that sort of thing, to keep the other kids occupied. Or for patrons who have health reasons or mobility issues that limit their ability to come to the library. So that program is managed by the Friends, and you can call the library to get more information about it if you're interested, and we'll pass your information along to the volunteers who run it.
Okay, and then they would get back to whomever has made the contact. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and they do a really good job identifying what types of materials the Books on Wheels recipient is looking for, whether it's books or movies, large print or regular print. So they do a lot of that up front at the beginning when they sign you on for the service.
So they make recommendations. I mean, sometimes people could call and ask for a specific book or a specific DVD or some kind of material, but also the Friends are ready to make recommendations if they need to. That's
Absolutely.
Great. That's yeah, wonderful.
And delivery is twice a month. So it's every 2 weeks.
And then they will come back at the end of the 2 weeks and pick up the material. Is it a 2-week thing like most of the books? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then you have some groups that are virtual groups at this point, but you have some book groups, I understand.
We do. We currently have 3 book groups that are meeting virtually using the Google Meet platform, and they meet once a month. We request the materials, whatever book selection has been picked for the next month, we request the books, and we have a supply of them here. So book group members can pick up the book a month ahead of time and then meet virtually. We have an evening book group that meets the first Tuesday of the month. They typically read a mix of nonfiction and fiction.
So all 3 book groups have an eclectic choice, right? It's not like one is for history and one is for fiction, and okay.
Yeah, it's a mix, and in all of the groups, the members vote on what books they would like to read ahead of time. So they also have an opportunity to suggest titles to the group and to select which books they'll be reading each month.
So people can sign up based on their availability time-wise.
Exactly.
And have a similar experience, or probably very different experiences, but
the groups will vary a little bit.
Not limited, right?
No.
And then you also have a storytelling time with little ones, is that right?
We do. Our youth services librarian, Ann Carpenter, runs a virtual story time every Friday at 10. You do
Mm,
have to sign up ahead of time for both the book group and the story time, just so that we can provide you with the link to
right.
join the group virtually. So story times every Friday at 10 a.m. And, Ann does her normal, not only does she read, but she sings and she encourages the kids to get up and dance and
Nice.
move. So although it's in a very different format, the process is still the same. They still have a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I just have a technical question. Are the kids able to see one another on screen, or are they just viewing her? Um,
That depends on how the parents choose to set up their
okay,
screen.
okay,
So they have the
mhm,
option of just making the speaker visible, and then
right,
the children would only see Anne, or they can go to a group view where they can see the other kids that are
okay,
involved.
okay. But it's not like just the presenter is able to speak and no one else can interact. The kids can actually interact with the
Absolutely.
presenter. Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know because kids like to do that
Yes.
generally. Some may
Yes.
not, but it seems like it's good to know ahead of time. Okay, well, that's different and, from the way it used to be, but I would imagine it accommodates many more kids potentially too.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And good news, might not be canceled for snow like we've had to cancel in the past. So
that's true.
another silver lining.
That's right. That's right. Of course. Well, we're looking for silver linings. So, yes, thank you so much, Emily. Really appreciate the updates, and it's great to know the library is there and has so many things to offer as always. So,
Thanks
thank,
for having me, Dinah. I
thanks again for
appreciate it.
coming on. Yep,
Good to see you.
thank you. This is Dinah Lane from Channel 18 in Harwich. Thank you so much.
Anyway, for all of you creative folks out there, we have a contest. Community Journal naming. We are looking for public input on renaming the Community Journal show. So put your creative hats on and think about a nice, and be kind, a nice name for the show. We will gather all the suggestions and do a Facebook survey to choose a new name. You can send your suggestions to this email. Everything is lowercase and no spacing. J Goodwin, Goodwin, at town.harwich.ma.us. I'll say that again. J Goodwin at town.harwich.ma.us.
Very good.
Looking forward to seeing all of your suggestions.
Yeah, that ought to be interesting to see what comes back. That ought to be interesting. Uh,
Hello, this is Dinah Lane with Harwich Channel 18. And tonight I am here with Diane DeGennaro, who is a member of the Garden Club of Harwich. And hello, Diane, how are you?
Hi, Dinah. I'm very well. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. I see you're sporting a special hat, which
You
has,
like it?
yes, it has something to do with what you want to tell us about, I think, right?
It sure does. I thought I'd get
Okay.
us in the mood.
Okay, so this is a holiday door tour, which is an unusual thing. I don't think you have done it before, but can you tell us a little bit about it? Maybe you could even tell us a little bit about how it came about, but the main thing is we really want to know, what does it entail and how can people get involved?
I certainly can tell you a little bit about it. It was hatched out of a pandemic need as we found ourselves in the middle of the pandemic. We realized that we had to take a pause and were unable to do our usual fundraising, which at this time of year, the Garden Club always took part in the holiday boutique that we ran, which was a big fundraiser for us. So we've pretty much canceled most of our fundraisers, or at least paused them for this year. And we were also realizing that there wasn't a lot going on for townspeople this year, and we felt the need to do something festive that would bring the town together. So we hit upon this very pandemic-friendly activity called the Holiday Door Tour. The great thing is it's safe, it's socially distant, it's fun, it'll build community, it'll be fun for the community, and oh, by the way, it will help us with our fundraising. So here's how it works. Folks can decorate their doors. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It just, what you'd normally do to decorate your door, and sign up for the door tour. There's an entry fee of $20, which will help the garden club. And for that $20, we will put you on a list that just shows an address. And the sign up is through Thanksgiving. And then starting December 5th, we will have a list for folks. It will be listed on our Garden Club website, and we will give it to people that have signed up with an entry fee. And folks can hop in their car or walk and tour the beautiful doors. We hope to have a lot of doors in the Harwiches. I mean, it is a gorgeous seaside community, and Harwich always is very festive at the holidays. So we'd like to, pump it up a little bit, since it's a very, very quiet, dark time for us in this particular year. So starting December 5th, you should be able to get a list of homes and tour the area. There's no judging, so there's no pressure, but there will be 3 prizes awarded just from names drawn out of a hat for people to say thank you for participating.
Ah, okay, okay. So both the people who are going to be decorating their doors and the people who wish to view the decorated doors pay some sort of a fee. Is that right?
No, just the people who are decorating their
Okay.
doors
People
will
who are
pay a fee.
participating in
And
showing their doors. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then everybody else, really, this is a give back to the community.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
We're trying to build up some holiday, good mood. I think
Camaraderie.
we all kind of need that this year,
Yes.
don't you, Dinah?
I think we need the camaraderie, and I'm sure people will appreciate it. It's something everyone looks forward to at the holiday time, and this is a nice involving way for Harwich people to get together. So great. And where do you, first of all, where do people get the applications? And second of all, how do people get the list, others get the list of the participants, so that they can get around and see them?
This application, which will be on the bulletin board for Channel 18, this application can be picked up at places throughout town. Reciprocity, right on Cross Street in Harwichport, Sativa, Hunters, let's see, the Mason Jar, New England Gardens, the Harwichport Post Office. They're all places where you can pick this up. You just fill in your contact information and mail it to us with $20. And we will then post the list on our website, which is Garden Club of Harwich .com. No, excuse me, .org.
Okay.
Garden Club of Harwich.
Garden Club of Harwich.org.
Yep.
Okay.
And we also will send it to the people that have given us an entry fee. So there are 2 ways to get it.
Oh, very good. Okay. So I know that the Garden Club does all kinds of other things, and I think that that's part of why you are wanting to raise funds. Can you talk a little bit about what kinds of things that the funds go towards? Because I know they also benefit the town.
I'd love to. So we have quite a few projects throughout the town. So we care for about 18 public spaces, and there's a cost involved on a yearly basis to maintain all of those gardens. We put in flowers, we put in mulch and soil and trees, shrubs, all of that comes out of our budget. So we care for those public gardens.
And that's all done by volunteers, is that right?
All done by volunteers, yes. We're over 170 some volunteers throughout town. And those volunteers, not only, we have teams for each of the public spaces. They'll decorate the public spaces for the holidays as well. They decorate throughout town, the wreaths that you see go up. Those are taken care of by the Garden Club of Harwich.
Right.
And then the big black pots that are streetscapes down along 28, there are approximately 50 of them, 50. And I don't think people realize that there's quite a cost to care for each one of those, just to fill them for the year. The summer
Right.
season in particular is $50 to $75 a pot.
Uh-huh.
So we're
I'm not
always,
surprised. Yes. Well, they're
yeah,
large. Those are large pots, right?
they are. And we try to keep seasonal interest in them.
Mm-hmm.
And we have caretakers for each of the
Right.
streetscape gardens.
So
Then
who does the designs for those pots? Is
we
that
have every 2 years it changes, but we have two ladies. This year it's Jeannie Tassinari and Lillian Murphy, and they get together, put their heads together, and come up with designs. And they work with local nurseries to get the plantings.
nice?
And we also give usually a $3,000 scholarship to a sophomore in college who's going into horticultural studies.
Mhm.
We give tool ships that are about $500 or so for kids that are going into the business, landscaping, or they need their tools.
Mhm.
We give mini grants of up to $500 for local educators. So as you can see,
Yeah.
COVID might have sidelined our fundraising activities, but
Mm.
we still need an annual budget to maintain
Right.
things in town.
Yes. Yes. Hence the holiday door tour, and it's a feel good activity, I think, for a lot of people. I hope it will be. But hopefully it will also raise money for all those other wonderful things that you do all year round. So that's great.
That's exactly it. For $20, I mean, you couldn't go to the movies for
Yeah.
$20, and this will be an activity that you can do with your whole family. Pile them in the car
Mhm.
and take a little tour.
Well, terrific. Okay. Well, anything else you'd like to share before we sign off?
No, I think that's about it. Let's meet again after Thanksgiving, and I can tell folks about where to find
Give a little
the.
update.
Yeah, I'll give you an update
That would
on
be
where to
great.
get the list.
Sure, sure. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Diane. And
Dinah, thank you so
really
much for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Yeah, really great to talk with you. Have a good night.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays.
Thank you. Very same to you.
All right.
This is Dinah Lane from Channel 18 in Harwich. Thank you so much.